Go. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the summer simple sweet summer. It's crazy, crazy warm today, so it's the perfect day for summer berry dip mix. Now, summer berry dip mix is very, very popular, and I always find it very interesting that it's popular when berries tend to come into season. But we kind of recognize that where when it comes into season, then we think more about it. But it's a really classic item, the summer berry dip mix, and to the point where I'm actually sold out and I discovered don't have any. So what I am going to do is pretend this is summer berry, and everybody's going to pretend summer berry. It's actually a seasonal one that is one of my other favorites, very similar, cran apple cinnamon. Has very similar things, has a lot more cinnamon and some nutmeg in it. So pretend this is summer berry, and that's what happens when you use it so much. It's gone, so I'm waiting for it to come in. So that being said, the first recipe we're gonna do is the sweet watermelon pizza. I thought this was, it looks pretty, but I thought there's no way it tastes fantastic putting yogurt on top of something. And then I was like, it looks pretty, but I don't think this is gonna work. Tried it only because I did it for cooking class, and then I discovered it. So what I've learned is just pick a random recipe off the website and go with it because they're super delicious. So we're gonna start from the beginning. I have washed the outside of this watermelon. I have a big fixation with food safety. So please wash the outside completely before you cut through, because if there's any salmonella or if it was in manure or anything like that, when you go to slice through, then it's actually slicing right onto your watermelon and you're contaminating it. So please wash your watermelon beforehand, and then we continue on with the step. You don't want to, you take the risk. Okay, get out a big knife. We're talking as big as you got. Chef knife, okay? And this is gonna be, you can do it two ways. It's very hard to hold, okay? So it's better if you have the whole thing and kind of try to do it one side, the other side. I tend to do this, and you're gonna do about a 1-inch section. So keep your hands above, and I kind of do a 1-inch section. You're gonna need enough to really hold the weight. So let's kind of give you guys can probably see that right there, right? So we're gonna slide it in and get it kind of going good. And if you want, kind of rotate it around. So it's kind of a better way to do that, only because it's flat and it's not going to. You can get your knife all the way through, great. This watermelon is really super delish and super juicy. So it's keeping that knife, and I don't have a Santoku knife. So I'm just gonna slide it around, no joke. And there we go, it's actually gonna be done. If you want, use this as a bowl, lemon ball it out, chop it up, whatever, we're gonna put this aside, okay? So aside it goes, and you're like, okay, Sandra, but we need to do, if you read the recipe, we need to do the yogurt first. Kinda, but what I'm actually gonna do is I do this first, because then I like just having it ready to go. So you're gonna take a dinner plate, and the bigger the better, but you're gonna do this, okay? So you're gonna just actually slice it right there. And this is gonna help once we go put it together. So we're gonna slide that right there, okay? You're gonna take your bowl, and I got my 3-in-1. So I'm gonna move this knife back over there. And now we're gonna make just a sweet dip mix, which it sounds very simple. You can do this with any of the sweet dip mixes, even the seasonal ones. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do 1 cup, but we're gonna be mixing it. So I find that it's really better. This is exactly 1 cup. So we're gonna use this as a measuring cup, but once you start mixing it, I find if you do that, it's really hard to get the dip mix in. So I'm gonna actually kind of measure it into the bowl first, and then, and don't be afraid. Sometimes people get afraid of the liquid that's on yogurt. There's nothing bad with it. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just separates. And you can actually keep separating it more to make it even thicker. So that's kind of, I used to do that with just regular yogurt before Greek yogurt came around, because I didn't like how kind of sloppy, messy it was. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna get that in there. I'm gonna put the lid on and put that back in the fridge, because I love food safety, and I'm all about trying to make sure that things stay as cool as possible. Okay, so it just says in small bowl, stir together yogurt and dip mix. So we're gonna actually put that in, just slide that out. And that way I'm gonna get every last inch, but I like this because it's a spatula, and it's gonna be so easy. Let me grab a detail. It's gonna be so easy to spread it on with the 3-in-1. That's why I'm using that one. So we're going to take your dip mix and you're going to do 2 tablespoons. I kind of open it over if it's really big and it's really new. So you're going to put that, the 4-in-1 measuring spoon, or if you have to, if you have a little circle one, you're just going to pour it over top. A little more won't hurt it, a little less won't hurt it either. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons. That's a heaping. We got a 1 there. So you're going to get some of that organic cane sugar, very minimal compared to anything else that you'll see with regular yogurts. And you're going to get dehydrated fruit, which is awesome. It's the real fruit. It's the real deal. So that's it. We got 2 tablespoons. We're going to mix that around. Okay, mix it. Hopefully you guys can see that. And it becomes this beautiful, I have a lot more cinnamon in mine, but it becomes this beautiful, colorful thing. And if you let it stand, you'll notice that the colors kind of ooze out of the dehydrated real fruit. And if you stir it again, it makes a swirl. So if you do 2 different dishes, you can do one and then the other. So I'm going to get that all stirred up, super easy. That's it. Okay. And because I know what's coming, I'm just going to put that on top. Okay. Kind of on top like that. I'm going to still need my knife. I'm going to put that over here. I'm going to close that up just to keep it from any dirt going in. And then all we're going to do is we're going to actually spread it on, but I got to do my berries. So I don't know if you guys have done your berries, but I'm going to take the collapsible strainer here, and we've got some different berries. So I'm going to show you kind of a little thing, and then I'm going to wash them. I would like to wash them first, rinse them. So I'm just going to do a couple of these, but I'm going to show you what to do with the strawberries, and I'm going to chop them really quickly. So I'm going to do these, and yes, I'm taking the stems off in a second. I'm just going to give a couple nice ones. These are brand new from the grocery store, but I don't think that's completely brand new. They're traveling a long time, so I'm not going to be sad because they're obviously right now not exactly local. They're starting to come out. So I'm going to take some of those strawberries. Okay, we'll deal with that in a second, but I want to wash them first. So, oh, seal. Very sealed. So people can't play with them. Okay, we're going to sprinkle some of that. Right, so we're going to make, and this is up to your discretion. It says 2 cups, but they're just giving you an estimate, and I'm going to do some raspberries. I don't know if you like them. I've even seen kiwi on there. If you want, you can do bananas. You can do a whole bunch of things. Pineapple. I just think the berries look awesome, and they do taste delish. So I'm just going to pick a whole bunch out of there. Get these berries just down there, and I'm just going to rinse away. I love this. Especially good for your campers or camping, space saving. So it's way better. And I'm just going to shake that out. Get those going. And cleaning them up a little bit, rolling them around in my hand, and shake it over the sink. And there's going to be lots of water in there at the beginning. And then here we go. So I got a trick for you. I know you're probably thinking, yes, Sandra's already got a trick. I do have a trick. I don't have a lot of reusable or anything. But if you ever here's a trick, so here's a p-hack tip or like a TikTok tip, whatever you want to call it, it's a tip that's not exactly Epicure, but I love doing them. So I'm going to take that disposable straw, and yes, it's plastic. It can work, but kind of need the sturdiness of it. So this is a great thing to core your strawberries or hull your strawberries without actually using a knife. Great for kids. Okay, so you're going to pull that top up. Do you see that? And then you're going to actually take that straw and you're going to actually insert it. And you just hold it, guide it at the beginning, and you're going to aim it. This is really good for people with hand-eye coordination. Isn't that the greatest? Slide it right through, doesn't matter. You're going to pull off that top. You just got the little bit less waste, because how many people cut off like half the top? Okay, so you can see how easy it is. And I really like doing this with kids or anybody that has difficulty using knives or anything else. So you just lace it through and away you go. You don't even need a knife. So these are the little tricks I do when I teach kids, but they're also good for people that, for example, if they have problems coordination, you can do these things. Occupational therapists, give them this tip for other people and patients that are struggling to use knives, or there's a safety issue involved as well. So there we go. And that's all I'm doing. No joke, no knife needed, especially camping. So it's one good thing. If you want to wash that, reuse it again. Of course, if you know me, that goes in my compost bag. And you can rinse that out and away we go. And then of course, the berries are so small. So if you want those, do the big ones. I just take my knife And I'm just going to actually cut those. You can use the craft knives we have, but I'm just going to actually chop those up, small little things, and whatever you want. If you want small pieces, big pieces, it's okay. Super cool. And this is the most berries, fresh berries, for the most part, we're going to be using, other than in the frozen one, but it's really good to match it up. And then that way you get all that. So obviously if you have a knife, great. If not, people can tear them apart, use, you know, plastic knives or whatever else too, but I just find it was a cool little trick that I always love doing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna toss that back in with the blueberries and the raspberries. Things are really awesome when it comes to that. Actually, we'll just set that over here because then we're gonna go right back to our watermelon. So grab your watermelon, grab your dip mix, and we're gonna spin that around a little bit. I always just love mixing it again because I love seeing the swirls start coming out from the fruit. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna plop that right on, and usually it takes about 2 good kind of scoops of it. There's always gonna be some left if you want, but if you wanna layer it on thick, you lay it on thick. So you're just gonna wipe away right to the edge, not to the white, just well, to the white, but not over the white. Then that way people know where to stop eating because nobody really wants to super eat the rind of the watermelon. If you do, you are special, but that's not me. So I'm just gonna make sure as I'm flicking it everywhere to make sure it's spread. It is, you're gonna notice it is a little bit difficult because the water starts kind of pushing against the yogurt. It doesn't actually absorb, and you actually are gonna get some of that kind of, I guess, give from that water. The watermelon is like, oh, wait a second, there's this thick layer. So it starts pressing the water that's on top of the watermelon out. Don't worry about it. A-okay. So we got the sweet dip mix in there. We're just gonna actually top with the berries, okay? So I'm gonna shake this around. And what I like doing is I just actually sprinkling and then just letting things fall where they may. At the beginning, I say this because my type A personality sometimes gets away with me. And then I like starting to place once I go, oh, there's too many over there. So I just go around and kind of decorate. This is really good for kids too, keeping them and making their own watermelon pizza. So when kids say, hey, I don't like fruit or whatever, they can decorate it any way they want. And who doesn't want to do this as an adult either? Like, honestly, I was like, this is not going to be great. It is actually totally, my raspberries mushed. Don't you love that when they mush? I don't, but I love raspberries. I used to go raspberry picking as a kid all the time, even by myself, in high school, just by myself. Okay, so you probably think, yeah, we're good, we're done. Not really. So you can actually add Tutti Frutti onto it. If you have Tutti Frutti, sorry, I say shake it first. I always say this because we don't have any anti-caking agents that we put in our products. So that's a really awesome thing. There's not these extra added things, but that does mean sometimes it will clump together, especially if you've exposed it to the air or moisture. So don't be alarmed, just shake away. So I like this one because I call it the Christmas sprinkle. If you listen closely, it sounds like jingle bells, like Santa's sleigh. So, and it's super cool. It has extra dehydrated fruit, but it also has turmeric in it. So it's super cool because it's at one color, but it's also an anti-inflammatory. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna sprinkle on top. I don't know if you can hear it. I always love it. It sounds like Christmas to me. Ding, 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 ding. It's the big pieces hitting and then only some come out, and it's super, super pretty. Okay, so as much as you want. We also have the Cocoa Crunch, which if you wanted to add a chocolate, you can do that. And that one has chia seeds in it, which actually are absorbable by humans, not omega-3 eggs, and flax seed. But chia seeds, you can actually absorb omega-3s, which is super awesome for your brain. So if you want chocolate and omega-3s, go that way. If you want Tutti Frutti, where you get the fruit and anti-inflammatories, go with Tutti Frutti. So Cocoa Crunch, Tutti Frutti, you got a health benefit, and it's either chocolate or berries. So as you can see, you're like, yay! But here's where that chef minute comes in again. We're just gonna slice it just like a pizza. And so I kind of try to find a line where I'm not gonna cut very many of the berries. And you're gonna slice it on through. Be careful to not break your dinner plate. But I do it in quarters first. Okay, and I kind of move some berries out of there so it kind of stay as best as possible. And you're just going to slide it on through, cut down to the rind. And if you want, you have 4. If you have a really big watermelon, this is the great, you know what, when you're got those big watermelons, you're like, I got so much to cut. Isn't this a simpler way than having to cut it all? You just do slices and do pizzas. Super awesome. Everybody takes one. So I'm going to show you the difference between, let's go this way. big slices and little slices. The only thing that happens is if you wait a little bit, the yogurt sticks to it more. So I'm just gonna get this going, and it's gonna start cutting your berries. So if you can see, you've got your pizza, and I'm gonna take a big one to show you first. Maybe we'll go with a small one. So you're gonna lift up, and there you go. You've got your piece that is this dolls. And then you can see here, doesn't that look like perfectly like a cake? It does. It looks like it's an icing, whatever else. They call it a watermelon pizza, whatever it is. Take a bite. It's delicious. And here's something I discovered. I was lazy and put it in the fridge last time I made it without a covering, and it dried up some of the yogurt. Not the most food safe, but it was just quick and I forgot about it. And it actually thickened up the yogurt even upon standing. So tomorrow there might be some water underneath the watermelon, but it'll actually even be thicker, even more like an icing. Isn't that the healthiest icing you've ever had? Super awesome, super cooling, and you got some protein and calcium in those in the yogurt as well. So I'm not going to put that on there. I'm definitely going to put this in the fridge and put this somewhere. We're going to put that right there, and then that way I'm going to make sure this stays a little bit cooler while I'm doing the next recipe. So as you can see, it does get a little crazy in here, but we've got that going on. So I'm just going to move this out of the way while we start on our oats. Okay, so let's get going because everybody knows I just toss things into my sink. I should be Michael Jordan by now. So I'm just going to clean this tiny up a little bit. So I'm going to probably be wearing yogurt because I wasn't paying attention. Okay. Thank you for helping me eat tonight. So next on the list, we've got overnight oats, which seem to be a really big trend. I have different options for you just in containers. Okay, so let's talk about containers first. We've got the most common Tupperware one. Don't have the small one because you probably can't tell from the picture, but there's the small one, this one. If you actually look on the bottom of your Rubbermaid ones, these are like a 20 pack, or it's $20 for a 40 pack at Walmart. You'll actually see it actually does say 2 cups on there. You do have to put on your glasses to see it, but honestly, I was like, is that 2 cups? Is that 3 cups? Is that? But it's 2 cups, and there's a reason. So you can go with that, close it up, and have all those ready. Perfect. I would say use the prep bowls. But unfortunately, once you have half a cup of the oats, half a cup of the yogurt, half a cup of the milk, it gets too big. So we don't have a 2-cupper, we have a 4-cupper, and you can always do a little bit more there or use that one, but don't use that one. Then you've got as well, the small jar, that jam jar is about 250 milliliters. So that's still not going to fit either. Just thought I'd give you an idea. When they talk about mason jars, they're talking about these ones. Okay, a little bit bigger, not the little small jam jars. Just wanted to give you a heads up because you start doing this and then you're like, where does it go? Now you're starting all over again, and you know how much I don't like dishes. So I'm going to assume you don't like doing dishes either. So that's just covering that, because if you don't start off with a good container, you're going to end up with a big mess and not so happy. You're going to have half the oats. So I'm going to go get my oats, yogurt, and we're just going to actually do all of this, stir it in, cover it up, and away we go. Sound good? Let's go. I got to get my oats. So I've got my oats, right? And we're gonna do half a cup, and you know I love my prep bowls as measuring cups. So I do this all the time. We're gonna take half. Don't forget, there's a measuring side. So I'm gonna just take half. It doesn't matter if it's large or small oats. It really doesn't, because overnight, this is what happens. So I'm gonna take our funnel, as I'm breaking something else, as it slides, and I'm gonna take that. So we have these cool little funnels, and I like it because you can squeeze them and make them wider. I don't know if you can see that. So they actually can do that, and I squeeze it and I kind of just do that in. And then that way I can actually get kind of large containers into smaller containers. I really like this funnel over other funnels. All these weird little things I was like, what are you thinking? I never used to use these things before, and then because I get them for free as a consultant, I was like, So there's my half a cup of oats, right? So we're gonna do that. We're gonna stir in yogurt. Gotta get the yogurt, because of course food safety says put it back in the fridge, Sandra. So we said half, okay? So I'm actually just gonna do half, and I'm gonna take, there it is. We're gonna pretend this, okay? I'm gonna do this again, even though if you have the extra leftovers, okay, and I can't use that because that's gonna be clean. I'm going to, you can always use what we already used for the watermelon. So we're gonna do this again. We're gonna do half a cup. Maybe we'll just use this one because we can. So we're gonna use half a cup of that, right? And if you want, you can just eye it. I usually eye it. Some people sometimes go, not sure. So I kind of just do that way. Okay. Oh. And we've got a kitty cat visitor coming in that's going to probably make a debut and make mommy mad. So we're going to do that. You can use it, but I find this is easier to just drop in. Dun, dun, dun. I just find it's easier to just do it this way. There we go. Hope you guys are doing this well. Sound good? Okay, and then actually we're going to do half a cup of milk. So you can use a milk alternative. You go. I'm breaking everything. So I'm going to do, again, half a cup. You might not be able to see it from the outside, but I'm pretty much eyeing it. I'm going to put that away in a second. Okay, and then if you want, you can take that funnel. It's okay if it sticks right in there, but I'm going to try to eye this better and get it done. Pour it right in. There we go. And don't forget, you got your summer berry out, right? So I'm going to pretend, okay, that I didn't use the watermelon, and you're going to pretend that you didn't use the extra from the watermelon, but let's just say you didn't, and you're just going to do this. This is 1 to 2 tablespoons, okay? 1 to 2 tablespoons. That's it. And of course, the cat makes the freaking debut, and of course, I swear, it's like this thing that needs to be like the traveling gnome. I'm washing my hands, by the way, because he drives me insane. Yeah, so thank God nothing was over there, but I don't have to work over there next time either. Okay, so dip mix, okay? So we're gonna do 1 to 2 tablespoons. This is gonna be your choice of how much flavor you want. If you want 1, I suggest doing 2 and working your way back, because sometimes people always get kind of disappointed. They're like, I wanted more. And honestly, it's so personal that I've had people go, that's too much, that's too little. So do 2, I'd say, and then work your way back. So that's the dip mix. And then Tutti Frutti, okay? So then it says 1 to 2 tablespoons. You can actually still screw those off. So if you want, you're gonna go dip right in there. If you're really worried about cross-contamination, you can. And I'm gonna do 1 of those, okay? So you can do 1 of those, you can do 2 of those. Maybe we'll do a little sprinkle in there. 1 to 2, 1 to 2. I kind of like 2 for the sunberry. And if you want, now we're just gonna actually stir it in, okay? And you're just gonna stir that all up. No joke. No joke. You're gonna stir it up. And then you're gonna get that all together. Just stir it up in that jar. Make sure you get down to the bottom and make sure you get that dip mix mixed with the oatmeal and the milk and everything else. If you have kids, this is hard because if you have kids, you also know about glass. Not always best, but if you have a careful kid or your jars or plastic, then you can actually shake. Shake, 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 shake. Okay, shake it up. I do this to make sure it sticks back down. And then what you're gonna do is, remember those berries? This is why it's so good. You're just gonna take some of those extra berries and throw them on in. No joke, okay? So it says 3 tablespoons. That's about whatever. And this is a really good place for your mushed up raspberries. Just saying. So if you're ever thinking like, oh, I don't want to eat those, they're not as, palatable because they're all like mushy. Yep, so I'm gonna throw those in there. So this is like, make it how you want it, because it's not gonna really exactly super affect it. And then I'm just topping that at the top, but I don't want it to. So that's it. You're just gonna top it on top, close it up, wait overnight, it's ready to go. If you do like it warm, you can either pour it into a bowl or just make sure that you don't go right from freezing cold to the microwave, maybe kind of just like sit out for a little bit, and then you can microwave it, lid off, okay? I know it's weird, but I like my oatmeal super warm, but don't forget, you just That's it. And you can do that with chocolate. You can do it with any of the dip mixes. And don't forget, you have a chocolate dip mix, and then you can use the Cocoa Crunch, which is the other nutritional sprinkle. So I'm going to put that in the fridge because I'm all trying to be food safe, but you know, the cat seems to be a problem these days. Every day, right, Ben? This is coming in pretending like he's just stretching near me. He's not going to like this though, because this is where it gets super cool. You know what I'm talking about. So ready? We're going to do the bananas. And hopefully, I don't see you guys, but hopefully, I'm going to move this over here. You guys are ready. I'm going to bring my cutting mat back here. Okay. And you guys are ready to just, all it is frozen bananas. And you can use fresh strawberries. You can, as long as these are frozen. Or we're going to do 1 cup of frozen strawberries. So grab them from your freezer. I'm going to show you my little trick of how I do things. So this, and it's 3 ingredients. So I got my Vitamix. Do not be jealous. That was a beautiful gift my parents knew. My dad said, my dad's a barber. I don't have good scissors. I don't have good tools. I can't make a good haircut. So he goes, how can you make good food if you don't have the best of the best? That being said, I think it's super cool. So what you're going to do is you're going to take those things. What I have, it's just been defrosting since I started the first recipe. So it's just a tiny bit defrosted. It is quite warm. But what I do is this. This is how I normally, even for banana bread, it does change the consistency of banana bread though, because then it takes longer to warm. So you can either cut it off there or I actually slice it. So I actually take it and slice it, kind of like doing a Y incision. And then I actually just peel it open. So that's what I do. Get them out. If it doesn't pop out right away, but it helps that it's really frozen, right? Because, so you're gonna put that and just keep on doing that. I make sure that the little brown part doesn't come out, but if it does, oh well, compost bag, that goes. And then I do the other 2. That's it. If you want another, like you can also squeeze it. Sounds weird. You can actually squeeze them out if it's like semi hard, but I find that the harder they are, the better it is to just make a Y incision. Can you tell I was pre-med and took lab animal anatomy? Required course to be. So you're just going to take that frozen. Third one's a charm. And we're going to do this and this and this. We're going to do this. This one's very hard. Hello. Hello, Nelly. So just try to pull it away. Be careful if you get some of the back end, it will still be frozen. Just make sure you don't get that or else it's going to be not as nice and smooth as you wanted. So this one's playing tricks on me. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to peel this away. And I just like to stick right there. So I'm going to kind of shave that baby because I don't want to be eating that. I don't want the skins. But usually this doesn't happen. So this is just because it's just been, oh, it was probably really soft and snuck right in there and then froze like that. So, oh, there we go. There we go. I just wanted to make sure I'm not eating the skin of banana. Okay, and my fingers are now toasty cold. Oh, into the sink and compost it'll go. Don't forget 1 cup of frozen strawberries. Just double checking because my Dory brain doesn't always like instructions. So I'm gonna grab my frozen strawberries, but because I have these left, I might just throw them in there. So we're gonna actually just take that prep bowl, okay? And I'm just gonna measure it again. So we've got 3 frozen bananas. It's gonna get loud in here. So, oh, hello. Seriously, it's not liking me today, but let's get out. Oh, don't those look so juicy, berry? Like, oh my goodness. Doesn't that make you just crave summer? And here we are. So if you want, you can put the rest in. I'm just going to show you exactly how it looks like. And then when I let go, when you guys go off eating this fantastic dessert, I'm probably going to add them in because I just don't like waste. And you know what? It'll be extra delish. A little bit softer, but extra delish. So in the freezer it goes. That's all we need. And we just need 1 teaspoon of your summer berry. So tablespoon teaspoon, half a teaspoon, quarter teaspoon. So I'm just gonna get my teaspoon over here, kind of dig around to make sure I get a little bit of the fruit and some of the sugar. So I'm gonna do that. That's it. Sprinkle it in to really amplify that flavor. If you want, you can put Tutti Frutti in, not a problem. But make sure you put that lid on. Do not plug it in until I've already set this up, but never plug your appliance in until you're sure everything's ready to go and don't have this on it and this lid above. I don't say that from experience, but I've seen a lot of fun things. So watch out, it's gonna get loud and it's still kind of frozen. So let's go for just, I'm gonna put this at a lower temperature and then I'm gonna see how we go. Nope, which is why, take it off and don't be alarmed because don't forget, this is gonna be a frozen thing. You're gonna take your 3-in-1 wherever I can find it. Oh, I can't find it. So make sure you take it off, okay? Move that around. And this is the only thing is, because it's frozen, I really don't want to add any moisture. You can, but it's not going to be as frozen, okay? So let's gonna try. And the other issue with mine, which I discovered this, was because the Vitamix usually has like this funnel, like almost like a tornado. Guess what happens when you have a wider base? Doesn't make, you have to have more content. So I'm supposed to have double everything because supposedly I'm supposed to be feeding an army. There we go. But I'm gonna actually kind of give a little bit more push. There we go. Good to go. So it gets a little bit kind of back and forth. Ooh, the bottom looks so good. You can't even see the bottom yet. So I'm just gonna mix that around. Make sure you don't do this while it's plugged in. Take it off or unplug. Okay, one of the options, because trust me, you don't want to get into that same situation. Well, do it. I see you. You want to try? Get a little. Food processors do work really well, but for me, I'm just trying to make sure that I use this up really good. So here we go. And as it starts kind of melting, I guess, when it's not really melting, but it is melting as it's not getting as frozen. Then, there we go. Let's start again. I can see it. I think I just need double. Let's go. Hopefully you guys are doing yours and it's going well because you have a food processor instead of that very commercial things. There we go. If you want, this is what I'm going to do to speed up the process. We're going to put some mushier things in, put them around, and that is going to probably change the texture, but it is getting. If you don't have a food processor, that's okay. Use a blender. If you don't have a blender, you can technically use a mashing, like a potato masher or a meat separator. I see you. No. Get down. And there you go. He kind of listens like a dog. Oh, there we go. Sitting on down. Oh, it's still moving, people. We've got movement. There we go. Let's go, baby. As you can see, that pink's really coming out here. Just need to do double the volume. There we go. It's turn. You just got to grip those really hard strawberries. The smaller, the better. And if you have big chunks of strawberries, it doesn't work as well because then it's just going to Literally. Oh, it's so thick. Just like ice cream. There we go. See it going? Woo! We have ice cream! There we go. I'm going to just get that bottom going. I just want to see, but it's looking pretty awesome. But I want to make sure that we got all those things out. So we're just gonna, I can still feel a little bit of some cold strawberry in there. I can feel the chunk, so I want to get rid of it, but I'm going to show you how wonderful it is. There we go. Don't let your blender ever roll kind of like, and as it's heating up, it can actually burn the motor out. I've told this story a billion times, but I can't get over it. Yeah, so there's still probably gonna be a chunk or two in here, but I'm gonna scoop it out. As you can see, yes, it is super nice. Frozen banana, basically ice cream. And don't forget those little specks in there are the blueberries I threw in there. So you can always do extra berries or different berries, but there you go. You've got now your frozen strawberry banana treat if you want. So I say one, no, let's garnish just for fun, because I love making sure that you eat with your eyes first, right? So we've got a blueberry. Yes, I'm that ridiculous that we're just gonna put that on top, maybe on top. Now it's almost like one of those cupcakes. If you really want to layer the flavor, get out your Tutti Frutti and put some sprinkles on it. There you go. And there's your frozen treat. Strawberry bananas. If you want to put extra berries in, you go right ahead. It's up to you. But now you've got a lot. And it's supposed to be 4 servings, but this is just a mama serving. So hopefully you guys had a great time at the summer berry cooking class. Hopefully you got some ideas and you've learned lots. We have our watermelon pizza. You have breakfast tomorrow with the overnight oats, and then you've made a cool treat that's super healthy, very, very low in added sugars, and very delicious that you can actually kind of make it versatile. If you want, add some chocolate too, whatever you want. But I hope you guys had a good time using summer berry, and I look forward to the next time that I can do a cooking class with you. See ya!